they said that if someone, for instance, thought up a particular idea, maybe they were experiencing a really beautiful day next to the sea and a gentle wind and so on, then the mood that they were put into by that day wasn't gone in the next day. It was actually transferred. It was a concretized emotion which stayed around for maybe centuries. And it could drift along and get attracted to someone else down the road who was in the same situation. It would get attracted to them. Now, the same thing came with bad luck or negative things happening to you.
Yeah.
Someone who had a tremendous death, for instance, it could almost impregnate the area with the same sensations of gloom and despair in that immediate vicinity.
Yeah.
And sure enough, if you walk through old battlefields and things where people have been slaughtered, you do sense something around there of the sudden death of young people who think they're not going to die. That's why young people go to war, you know. You don't get old guys to go to war. They're too clever. But young people think they're immortal, and here they are suddenly dying, and something stays in that general area of the graveyards. You know?
Is this to create this desolation that you talked about earlier? That is symbolic in the Great Seal there in the background.
Yes. As I say, the so-called eye itself is important. People, again, they talk about it all the time, but they don't think about it. An eye is something which sees. They used to say the eye is the window of the soul.
Yeah.
That which is within the person almost shines through the eye. You can tell a person who has something extra in them. You might say it's charismatic or whatever, but the fact is a life shines from them. And that's what they mean by that. But it's also that person has the ability to see.
Yeah.
There's an old Masonic saying, going back all the way to Francis Bacon, probably much older, but he said, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
One eye is all you need to see.
Yeah.
People have two and don't use them. you do not see.
Yeah.
And they don't see what's in front, because seeing is more than just using the eye itself. You have to use the mind that you're given to go with the eye to interpret what you see.
Sure. I mean,
people do not. They see what's in front of them. They're concretized thinkers. They've been trained to be so, and they take things at their face value, and that's why they always end up with this mishmash with nonsense.
I mean, to me, this almost seems like, someone is basically, if I can use that word, training, I guess, the human race. I mean, because through these kinds of, in some sense, through these kinds of, horrible events that are taking, root all around us, basically, at some level, a lot more people are actually finding themselves, more aware because of all of this. I mean, if all these conspiracies and all this misery basically weren't happening, I mean, I'm not so sure I wouldn't be in that sense so in contact, I guess, as I am at this moment, at least, with my own awareness of these things. I mean, there is a dual process here, I guess. I mean, do you agree on that?
Absolutely. See, all of this, even this very topic, the things we're talking about, these things should be natural within everyone. A wild animal has them. Every wild animal has them. Wild animals know when a hunter is getting near. In fact, they don't have to even see the hunter. They can sense the intent of the hunter. It's a tangible thing to them.
Yeah.
A domesticated animal, and this is the key to it. We are domesticated.
Yeah.
We've been trained to blindly trust the Good Shepherd. And the Good Shepherd is the authority figure that's put over you. That's why every ancient religion used the Good Shepherd as the symbol of the leader. That means that if he's the shepherd, then we're the sheep.
Yeah.
Sheep are domesticated animals.
Yeah.
that are there to feed the shepherd.
That's right.
What's happening today is some people who still have who retain some of the qualities of natural survival instinct. That's the key to it. There's all of these unseen little abilities that you have. They're sensing the big change going on all around them. They know the answers they're getting from government agencies just don't make sense to them. All this totalitarian goings on.
Yeah, sure. But I know a lot of people who, when I talk to them, I can sense that many people are, kind of in need of this, strong leaders and stuff like this. And I guess as soon as you speak, kind of bad about them, they don't, they go into instant, denial mode because I'm attacking, their alpha male archetype leader, basically.
You are, yeah. You're attacking that which they've been trained to look for.
Yeah.
Domesticated animals trust the shepherd, number one. When he wants to cull one of the sheep and go off and eat it, he doesn't do it amongst the other sheep. He takes the sheep out of the pen, takes it away out of sight.
Yeah.
Kills it. You see?
Yeah.
Well, it's like society is exactly the same. Traditionally, in the histories that were taught around the 1800s and the beginning of the 1900s, it was common history to always beware of governments because they're worse than any foreign army. They always use the army on you. Eventually, that was the routine all down through the centuries.
Yeah, sure.
And yet in one century, they've managed to train the people in the opposite direction, that the army is good, that the guy at the top he's come out of a separate birth canal from the rest of us. He's holy almost.
Yeah.
The holy stature that's given to these people. And that was the trick of expertise, to conjure up through media propaganda, incessant over 100 years, an almost aura of a holy persona around the president or prime minister and those around them, as though they're special people, different from the rest of us, you see.
I've seen these press release photos where they got the basically the chandelier lights in the background, like a halo around, the head of George Bush or Blair or whatever.
That's right. Well, you should see some of the propaganda ones they have for Hillary Clinton. You should look into some of the websites. It'll blow your mind. Well, they have her dressed up as God.
Yeah.
In the painting of Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel roof. Got her in the place of God in one of the PR promos.
Oh, here we go. By the way, do you think that she will be the next president of the U.S.?
She's been groomed probably she was probably born for it, in fact. But she's been groomed. All of these people are groomed for their positions.
Yeah.
Long before the public, years before the public even hear their names. And her name is even occultic, so it makes sense.
Do you want to enlighten us on that one?
Yes, some of them have very open occultic names. Other ones you have to work it out.
Yeah.
But you have in the old occultic, you always have a reference to Ra, or Aten, as well.
Yeah.
Aten is a later form of this similar thing. And Hillary has a form in the spoken word, which is the bottom level of the mystic language, you might say. The spoken word is more important than the spelled word. The spelled word is to throw you off because a spell is to cast a spell. That's why it's called spelling.
Yeah.
So you have the hill. There's always a mountain or a hill. A pyramid is a hill. The first artificial, man-made, perfect mountain. You see. And then you have Hilary, pronounced it backwards. Doesn't matter if it's ER or AR. The spoken word is AR, so you've got Ra in there. Y is extremely important because Y is the male chromosome. And they always use the Y in masonry. It's very, very common to use the Y. Very important letter. And then you have Rodham. You see.
Yeah.
Now Rod is the rod and staff of the Old Testament, which was copied from the rod and staff of the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Because the Pharaoh crosses his arms, and you see them on their caskets.
Yeah, that's
right.
On
the one hand, he's got the little walking stick. That's the crook. And the other one is the rod. So you use the crook as the shepherd to pull the sheep, and if they don't obey, you use the rod to beat them. She's the rod. Her function is to take an office at a time when you're going into complete tyranny and open hostility of government towards the people.
Interesting. So, so I guess she could be either for 2008 or I guess 2012.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Also closer to the mystery religion because it's well known that she prefers women to men. In the old mystery religions, the high priests used to be castrated to be closer to the god. Because God, their deity is both male and female.
Yeah.
Therefore, it was better to be neither male or female in the physical because that made you closer to the deity. That's why this part of it is very important. That's why in the age of Aquarius that this would all come to the surface, because Aquarius is the symbol of someone who was raped by Zeus. A man who was raped by Zeus. And then deified as a god. A new man was put into the heavens and put up there under the symbol of Aquarius.
Interesting.
That's why only now, in the age of Aquarius, does that become prominent and become get more civic power than any other people.
That's very interesting. I mean, and one thing I'm wondering to get your take on it, people, like, let's say Hillary or, George Bush even, or people like this. I mean, you said that they were basically, grown from day one. Do you think that these guys are, totally, mind control victims with their own handlers who, tell them what to do, program them, basically?
Some are, but other ones are not. If they're brighter, they're selected to be brought into the secrets. You can have 4 children in a high family, but each one will be tested to see if according to their personality, if they're fit to be brought into the mysteries, because they might be a blabbermouth, they might yap too much or drink too much or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's only certain ones who are selected. The other part of Hillary's name is Ham, and the ancient Egyptians were the Hamites.
Oh, interesting. So, I mean, it just keeps coming, and you said that's also very interesting. You said regarding the chromosomes, the X and the Y. Yeah. I mean, again, there we have the name. I mean, someone actually, are naming these discoveries and are choosing these letters purposely. I mean,
yes, as I say, Bacon he wrote about it. He said, we are creating the new language the new international language of the future. And now they meant the alphabet and everything, and the shape, the whole thing. They borrowed heavily from the Greek initially, but they used other parts as well. Each letter in the alphabet is Masonic. It's got an inner meaning.
Very interesting. And you said Bacon was behind this. I mean, do you consider him to be behind the works of William Shakespeare? Because that's a thread that seems to be going around.
Well, here's the thing. To introduce a whole new language into society, at that time, in the 1500s, you needed priests of the churches because they were the most educated people at the time. So priests were involved. Bacon did mention that there was a team of them working on the creation of the English language.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Old Nordic German they spoke in England. And suddenly you have a whole bunch of professors going to all the universities with this new language, and that's how they first started to get it in. Then this supposed Shakespeare